God's sake, keep it down. They're about to reveal the #1 AI video generator.
This year's updates to the leading AI video models have spoiled me to the point where I no longer expect things to just be good enough for AI. I want the best results money can buy. I want my footage to be so realistic that it makes people laugh, cry, or feel genuine fear. I want as little AI look in my AI as possible. Let's see which video model can actually deliver that. I tested 4 models that have either been updated or have just emerged on the scene over the last 3 months. Seedance 2.0, Kling 3.0, the new kid on the block, Happy Horse, and the very recently released VO4 Omni. But I'll tell you more about VO4 in the second part of this video. All scenes were shot using the image-to-video method or the Omni function. Every shot was generated on the Imagine.Art platform, the sponsor of this video. Except for the VO4 Omni footage, this model would soon be integrated into the platform as well. The rules were simple. The exact same prompts with a maximum of 2 generations per model. I decided to crown a winner across 5 categories. Best acting performance, best lip-sync performance, best micro-expressions, best prompt adherence, and best physics. Grab your coffee and let's see who takes the crown in each category. Prompt adherence. The more complex the camera movement we request, the more difficult it is for these models to follow our intentions precisely. Here's a clear example. Seedance executed our exact prompt instructions. Others, not so much. Acting. Here's an emotionally intense scene that showcases some truly exceptional acting nuance.
It doesn't hurt that you left. It hurts that you practiced that face for years.
It doesn't hurt that you left. It hurts that you practiced that face for years.
It doesn't hurt that you left. It hurts that you practiced that face for years. It doesn't hurt that you left. It hurts that you practiced that face for years.
And the award goes to Kling. What really caught my attention was the nervous blink of her eyes and the incredibly realistic hand physics when she missed her intended grip and grazed the table on the descent. Great lip sync, by the way. Acting. This scene not only highlights the acting performance, but also stress tests the model's ability to handle complex mirror reflections.
You don't have to finish it. There won't be a wedding.
The dress doesn't know you're afraid. It's not fear.
You don't have to finish it. There won't be a wedding.
The dress doesn't know you're afraid.
It's not fear.
In that case, stand up straight. Fear and shame always hunch a person the same way.
You don't have to finish it. There won't be a wedding.
The dress doesn't know you're afraid. Unfraid.
It's not fear.
In case fear and shame always hunch a person the same way.
You don't have to finish it. There won't be a wedding.
The dress doesn't know you're afraid.
It's not fear.
In that case, stand up straight. Fear and shame always hunch a person the same way.
This time the award goes to Seedance. I especially appreciated how the Tailor addresses the bride's reflection in the mirror instead of looking at her directly. It's a beautifully cinematic sequence. Lip sync. We created this next scene specifically to test dialogue lip sync.
Was this the worst wedding in the history of this hotel?
But the first one where the bride left with the photographer.
At least the photos will be honest.
You're still laughing.
Was this the worst wedding in the history of this hotel?
No. but the first one where the bride left with the photographer.
At least the photos will be honest.
You're still laughing, that's good.
Was this the worst wedding in the history of this hotel?
No, but the first one where the bride left with the photographer.
At least the photos will be honest.
You're still laughing, that's good.
Was this the worst wedding in the history of this hotel?
No, but the first one where the bride left with the photographer.
At least the photos will be honest.
You're still laughing, that's...
The top spot for lip sync goes to Seedance, followed by VO4 Omni. Micro expressions. Now let's focus on the holy grail of screen acting. These little face muscle or eyes movements that can tell us so much if performed with fine ease. Both Vio and Kling failed to follow the prompt, as the soldier was supposed to refrain from firing his weapon after a brief moment of hesitation. Seedance nailed it perfectly. Micro expressions. You need to focus on that short moment when a politician is being asked a tough question and has to make a quick decision whether to tell the truth or lie.
Did you authorize the transfer before the report was buried? That is a completely false accusation.
Did you authorize the transfer before the report was buried? That is a completely false accusation.
Did you authorize the transfer before the report was buried?
That is a completely false accusation.
Did you authorize the transfer before the report was buried?
That is a completely false accusation.
The award goes to Seedance again. This time we had to use VO 3.1, as the policy filters in VO4 Omni didn't allow us to generate this scene. Physics. Now on to physics. Which model delivers the most realistic motion? The win goes to Seedance once again for the most realistic performance in my opinion. Physics. We decided to stage a kung fu fight scene with a little twist. I hope you'll enjoy it. As you probably noticed, VO4 Omni took this pillow fight a tad too seriously. In my opinion, Seedance wins this round. Alright, let's let the dust settle, take a deep breath, and process everything we just witnessed. A few quick clarifications are in order. First of all, VO4 Omni is the only model in this shootout limited strictly to 10-second shot, whereas the other contenders offer up to 15 seconds of duration. While 10 seconds is still better than 8 seconds we had with VO 3.1 and might be perfectly fine for a TikTok clip, it gives any film director or editor a massive headache when pacing a proper narrative film. But honestly, I don't care what technical constraints VO might have for capping clips at 10 seconds, and I certainly wasn't going to bottleneck the other models just to level the playing field for them. Secondly, as always, we allowed only 1 or 2 generation attempts per scene for each model. The prompts were specific and detailed enough that a mature model should deliver exactly what we wanted without forcing us to develop calluses from spamming the generate button. Last but not least, I'm a huge advocate for hybrid workflows. You should absolutely deploy a high-end, more expensive model for your critical narrative moments, like close-up dialogue or subtle micro-expressions, and then jump to a different engine for, say, a wide-angle car chase sequence. Sometimes the choice is driven by budget constraints, other times a specific model is simply better suited for a particular type of shot physics. Alright, so which model gets our official stamp of approval? If we are focusing strictly on raw quality, regardless of the costs, the definitive winner is Seedance 2.0. Seedance is relatively expensive to operate and has its fair share of quirks, but in my opinion, it remains the gold standard. Kling 3.0 clearly had problems with following complex prompts and with lip sync, although I like the acting scene very much. Happy Horse offers the aesthetics I just don't like. It's too AI plastic and smoothed out. Now let's talk about VO4 Omni, released just a few days ago. First of all, the improvement over 3.1 version is visible. The overall aesthetics are much better. The acting has improved, and it's pretty good too. Two issues we spotted which are actually quite serious. VO4 on many occasions had a problem with lip sync, and also didn't follow the prompt, especially when we asked for slightly more complex camera motion. One thing worth noting, the Omni function here is much more than just a chance to use reference items. VO4 Omni offers a lot of additional editing functionalities, like iterative video editing with preserved content, video remixing, or conversational videography direction. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to how good the outcome is, not how easy it was to produce, as the audience doesn't care much about the process. They care about the result, and at least for now, nothing beats Seedance 2.0 in this department. Some news for you. While we were producing this video, Imagine.Art, the platform we use to generate most of today's footage, dropped an interesting new feature called Film Studio. We managed to grab early access, and after spending some time playing around in this new environment, I think you should try it too. Film Studio provides intuitive high-speed controls designed to streamline the entire cinematic pipeline. It allows you to select specific camera bodies, focal lengths, camera movements, timing, depth of field, and reference assets natively, completely removing the need to over-describe these technical parameters in your text prompt. We are going to give it a proper run and shoot an entire upcoming project inside this environment, and I'll break down both the final results and the complete workflow in a future video. If you found this shootout insightful or entertaining, please hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss that upcoming breakdown. See you next time.